Golden Kingdom is here again, so today we're going to go through this event together, and I'm going to give you guys my best tips and tricks to make sure that you complete this event every single time it comes around, because the rewards are actually pretty good and you definitely don't want to miss out. But before we jump in, of course, what's going on, guys? Cheers. Now, as you guys know, I am a sponsored partner creator with Rise of Kingdoms, so if you want more Rise of Kingdoms content, consider subscribing down below. Some of you guys have been watching my channel for years and you don't even realize that you're not subscribed, so just go ahead and double check. Why am I making this video today? Well, two reasons. First of all, a lot of people don't know how good these rewards actually are for Golden Kingdom. This is a very good source of blue and purple materials for your account, and a lot of people find that that is a bottleneck for crafting their legendary gear. So if you're not getting the maximum rewards here, then you might be missing out and progressing slower on your equipment than you need to be. And look who came to visit. Hi Tiger, how are you? Tiger knows that whenever you guys drop a like down below, she gets some treats later, so every time I start recording, she comes up here now to say hi, to make sure that she gets her treats. She's just putting in the work, and also she likes bothering me. I mean, frankly, this is her house, not mine. This is her world. I'm just living in it, you know. So this event comes around often. It gives you nice rewards, so let me show you guys how I make sure that I complete this event as fast as possible every single time, and almost all the time I get the maximum bonus reward here. Once in a while, if I'm super unlucky, I won't get it, but you definitely should try, because this is, I mean, frankly, it's probably 5 crystal keys, but sometimes it's a blueprint fragment, and 2 purple materials is always good. So let's jump right in here. And before I pick my troops, the second reason why I'm making this video today is because I am frankly in Japan right now. I am on vacation. I'm going to be in Japan for 2.5 weeks. I don't know when this video is going to go live, but I wanted to make sure that I was able to provide you guys with some content while I'm away, and we're going to play through this entire event together. So even if you have a good strategy for Golden Kingdom, feel free to throw me up on the second monitor, get yourself a coffee, lay back, just relax, and we'll hang out here for a little bit, because I suspect this video is going to be longer than I anticipate. Okay, anyway, for those of you that are relatively new to the event, there's really 3 different damage categories that you can optimize for: normal attack, single target skills, or AoE skills. And from my experience, the AoE skill blessings are typically the most powerful, assuming that you have the commanders to support that, but you will know based on your current account what type of damage your best commanders deal. So if you're still using a Hua, if you're still using a Nevsky, if you're still using, maybe you just got to the mid or late game and so you're still rocking somebody like, I don't know, Charles Martel or something like that with a Richard, that might change the math for you. But for a lot of players, I would say try to stack as much AoE as possible in this event, and that's going to be what I'm trying to do. Now, it does come down to RNG a little bit, so that does play a factor. But the other thing you have to remember is that every single level, okay, there's different levels in this. Basically, this is a tower and you want to get to the top of the tower. Every level has a healer hut, and you want to make sure that you get it every single time. Okay, they don't tell you that every single level has a healer hut, but when you play this game long enough, you kind of come to figure that out all on your own. But anyway, with all that being said, let's go ahead and pick the troops here. Now, I'm going to just share with you guys my picks, and I'm also going to make a quick change here. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is move all my best gear off of my Gengham Chan, and the reason for that is because he has single target damage, and also his healing, which is typically really good for things like Canyon and Golden Kingdom, doesn't actually work on barbs or neutral units. Okay, so kind of a bummer there. So we can't even exploit his healing. So I'm going to make sure that my King Arthur actually has my very best cavalry equipment on it, because he's going to be my primary commander. We're going to put my best armaments on him as well. Okay, so this is kind of my first tip here, but just make sure you're optimizing your armies for this game mode. So we're going to do King Arthur primary with Achilles secondary. We're going to do our Trajan with Mulan. We have 1 siege here to slow it down in the lane, just so that way it hits the target a little slower, and the positioning is actually a little bit better on the battlefield that way. Frankly, it doesn't really matter that much here, because once you lose that troop, you lose the troop. But either way, I'm going to run my Sun Tzu Prime with Bai Chi, and then I'm also going to use the unconventional pairing here with Scipio and Liu Che. Again, I'm going all in on AoE damage here. Okay, so that's what we're rocking with. When it comes to which formation to use for the Scipio Liu Che, by the way, I typically go for pincer formation, even though we just got wedge 2 and it is 12% bonus versus the 10% bonus here. The difference is that the Scipio only hits 3 targets, whereas the Liu Che hits 5 targets, and it's higher damage factor. So to me, it just feels like it makes more sense to go for the pincer, but really it's not that big of a deal. Just go for whichever one is the best for you. And then we're running the Emperor Qin with Zhuge Liang, and the reason for that is is just because I like the debuff on the active skill here for Zhuge Liang over the raw damage of YSG. In this game mode, you're going to get a lot of extra skill damage, so I feel like YSG is a little less valuable here than he is in actual open field combat with Emperor Qin. Not to say he's bad, he's exceptionally good, okay, don't get me wrong, but in this game mode I would say that Zhuge Liang just takes the cake a little bit. And so these are the armies that I'm going to be using here. Now you'll also notice that the way I have them configured is with 4 armies up front and 1 in the back row, and the reason that I'm doing this is because of certain blessings that you can get in this particular game mode. I'll explain that later on when I do actually get it. And the last thing I'll say here before we confirm is that if you don't have these commanders, don't worry about it, because this game mode actually does scale with your power level. Okay, so as you get stronger, the enemies will get stronger, and likewise if you're a lot weaker, if you have a lot less power than I do, then you're gonna face a lot easier enemies than I will. So you don't necessarily need the same commanders that I do, but I'm just sharing with you guys sort of my thought process, because again, I'm going for all AoE, and literally every single commander on this board here is AoE except for Sun Tzu, and then my supportive Trajan March, which is mainly just going to be used to soak up and tank damage and buff everything around him. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and start the event here. And the way that I'm going to walk through this is, what you want to do is you want to clear the tiles that have the most benefit and the least downside, right? So for me, clearing this tile has a lot of benefit, but it also has a lot of downsides, because if this is an enemy right here, it's going to block off all the tiles around it, right? And that's not necessarily worth it to me. What I like to do is clear the tiles along the edges of the map, because as you can see here, I just revealed an enemy, but it only blocked 2 tiles instead of the 5 that it would have blocked had there been an enemy here, right? So I'm able to clear some fog with minimal tiles blocked off, and now I can progress around the other side of the map, and I run along sort of the wall here. Now these are blocked off because I discovered an enemy, but again, I've only blocked 2 tiles. So now let's move down this way, and we'll kind of go around, and I can't, so this is basically a wall right here. So now we go down, we find an elite, and now we move ahead and we clear whatever we can. Okay, so there we go. I am going to open up all my chests, grab everything that I can that is on the floor, and in the first 4 floors, what I like to do is defeat everything on the board. Okay, now that changes later on in the Golden Kingdom, but I always like to defeat them all in the early levels, because you get blessings, and the blessings that you get earlier on versus later on, they're pretty similar, really. Maybe you get higher rarity ones later, but all in all, it's nice to get these ones for super cheap. By cheap I mean troop cost, really, because that's what you're trading here. You're fighting and losing troops for it. And I also like to defeat them in order of weakest to strongest, and the reason for that is because, again, the blessings are RNG, really. You have the same chance of dropping a blessing off the weaker one versus the stronger ones, and I would like to collect as many blessings before I go up against the stronger enemies. I think that makes a lot of sense intuitively. So the first fight, I always do actually set up my troops the way that I want them to, just to make sure it makes sense here. So in this case, I will leave everything, all 4 on the front line, and then we will have my Sun Tzu with Bai Chi on the bottom here, just to take out this Quo, right? This is my only single target damage commander, so I'd like to have it go up against that single target. And I will not skip this battle, just so you can kind of see how the armies approach one another. So you'll see that my Cav army actually came down here. Unfortunately, it looks like it connected first, but this is the first level, so it's super easy. Everything's just going to pop pretty much immediately, and that's pretty much it. All right, and so like I said, I was able to get a blessing here, and so starting with the weakest enemy gave me a reward that would potentially be equal to any other enemy on the board, but now I'm going into those enemy fights with the blessing, meaning I'm actually stronger now. So it makes a lot of sense to start with the weaker enemies first. And what I'm going to grab here is Karaku Tactics. I deal 5% more damage to enemies if they counter the enemy unit type, so that is of course something that I'm always going to be trying doing if I can, just like I did with my Sun Tzu Prime there. And now what we want to do is, we've got 2 enemies that are the the same power, so I'm gonna fight the one that clears the most tiles first, right? So if I attack him, it only unlocks this one tile, but if I attack the guy in the top right corner, it'll unlock these two, which also will unlock these two potentially, depending on what's behind them. So I'm gonna go ahead and fight him as well. I don't really care if the lineup is not perfect because we're so early on, it doesn't really matter that much. And there we go, we cleared 4 tiles for that fight. Now I'm going to fight this guy right here, and we're going to do the same thing. Boom, we clear the 1 tile. Now we've got a choice here. We can fight this guy, he clears 2 tiles, versus the stronger guy clears 3. Like I said, I always go with the weaker ones first, and hopefully we get something good. We don't, so now we go ahead and we fight the elite. Now normally I would be mad that I have to fight the elite to defeat the chieftain, but again, for the first 4 floors, I'm always doing every battle anyway. Right now with the guardian elites, I always do actually set up my troops to make sure I get the optimal outcome. And with that being said, everything looks good to me, so we're gonna go ahead and skip that battle, and now I get another blessing. These are epic blessings, okay? And we've got a couple of choices. So your basic attacks have a 15% chance to increase the target's damage received by 5% for 3 seconds, stacks to 3 times. This is whenever dealing AoE skill damage. Now I don't actually know if the developers have gone back in since they've implemented new damage types and reworded this and retweaked it to incorporate combo damage and smite damage as well, but I think this is just skill damage according to this, right? When dealing AoE skill damage, the target troops have a 20% chance to receive a random debuff for 8 seconds, stacks up to 10 times. That is super powerful, and I'm going to be dealing a lot of AoE skill damage here. We have Emperor Qin dealing it to 5 targets every single turn, right? So basically every turn someone's going to get something here. On top of that, we have Zhuyi Liang. We also have my CPO Prime, right? So don't forget that. So I'm going to grab this AoE skill. Even though it is only skill damage according to the text, it's still very valuable to me. And now we can fight the chieftain. Okay, so let's fight the chief. And again, I always try to optimize my troops here. Turns out everything was pretty much all set how I wanted it anyway, but this is how we're gonna do it now. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my Sun Tzu Prime here because he has a little bit more troops, so he's healthier enough to fight 2v1 than my CPO is, and that's gonna be it. And now we've got a couple of different choices for legendary blessings. So usually in the first 3 floors, the chieftains will drop a sort of extra special blessing that you can only get on the beginning of the run, and this unfortunately is the single target skill scepter, the priest scepter, and I don't like this one. Okay, so I'm actually not going to get it. This is also for single target, not going to get it, but this one says reduce all damage taken by front bow by 15%. We're going to grab that one, and then we're going to grab the healer's hut. I don't need to heal, my troops look really good, so I'm going to grab the blessing. This is counterattack damage 20%. That's actually pretty good. And then we're going to move on to the next floor. I like getting, that's a nice epic right there for the first floor. Really good stuff. So we're going to follow the same strategy that I did before, and we're just going to clear the things that don't really have that much downside. So let's go ahead and go along the edges here and see what we can find. And we've basically found a roadblock. So there we go. At this point, I'm going to kill, well, this guy is technically a little bit stronger, but he unlocks way more of the map. So I am going to bend my rule a little bit here and fight him first. So that way I have way more chances to get the things that I want. At this point, I'm going to fight him again, and we're going to go ahead and clear these fog tiles around. And at this point, I'm going to grab all the gold. I'll fight this guy. Why not? We'll kill him. And we did get a blessing. So back row defense, front row health, or infantry defense. So I'm going to go with back row defense. A lot of times it's sort of like you can turn your brain off and just pick the more rare one. Really, that's not always the case, but you know, a lot of the times it is. So that's kind of how I'm feeling. Again, with this one, reduce damage taken by back row attack, or basic attacks have a 10% chance to silence the target. That's really good. So we're going to grab that, and then we clear around here. We found the chieftain, but before we fight the chieftain, I am going to fight the guardian elite, and I'm only doing that because again, it's the first 4 floors. Okay, later down the line, I will not be doing that most likely, unless I'm like super overpowering everything, but we'll have to wait and see if that ends up being the case. But for right now, we do that and we grab a blessing. Okay, so back row health, defense for infantry, attack of cavalry. We're gonna do back row, yeah, we'll do back row health. Why not? That keeps our Emperor Qin alive. We also are going to grab a reinforcement here, and a lot of times you want to just pick the strongest one. Really, that's kind of how I feel about it. So a lot of Emperor Qins here are going to be great, and obviously Sun Tzu Prime is going to be great, so I'm going to grab the Sun Tzu Prime there, and then we're going to go ahead and really, I don't think I'm going to need this healer hut after this chief, but the blessing going into the battle will help me out a little bit, so I'm going to grab that in advance. That's not usually something that you should do, but on the earlier levels it is a pretty good strategy. Now for me, what I'm going to do is actually let's see, I'm going to bench my yeah, let's bench my Scipio Liu, and we're going to throw in the Sun Tzu. And what I'm going to do is actually use this Sun Tzu to sort of tank a little bit, because I don't really care if we lose him, right? So we're going to go with something like this, and we're going to skip the battle. And then we see we got the Preceptor again. So I'm actually getting pretty unlucky here. We have 50% more damage from AoE skills, and this says immediately gain 1000 rage. I actually really like Warrior's Fury, but I'm going to grab Saint Scorch because it is just, I mean, it's 50% more damage. I mean, what are we talking about? That's super good. And here we see we actually got a second healer's hut, and like I said, I don't need that, so I'm going to grab the blessing. And if I have a shield, I gain 20% damage. I'm not going to have a shield throughout this whole thing unless I get a blessing that gives me shields, so kind of a waste there, but I mean, I didn't need to heal anyway. So we're going to go ahead through floor 3, and we're going to see what we get here. And let's clear all around here. Boom, boom, boom. Let's do this. Okay, and then we got 2 healer huts again. That's kind of lucky, honestly. So we unlocked a lot of this map before we even had to fight anybody, which was really good. So I'll definitely grab a blessing. So healing effects, that's kind of a waste. It's not that big of a deal. Let's see. Well, I guess I can kill him and we'll actually clear these 2 tiles, which is pretty good. At this point, I don't really get much from killing this guy except the chance at a blessing, and we did actually get one, so that's pretty good. Front row attack, unit capacity is really quite good. I'll grab that for sure. And then we'll fight this guy and we get nothing, so that's cool. And then we have to fight the chief, so let's go ahead and do that, and we'll see what we get here. We will go ahead and move this down, boom, and we'll do that. And there we go. We got the AoE skill. So Saint's Orison, this is the one that I like a lot. Okay, it's kind of crazy. Fervent Tactics is one of the best blessings you can get in this entire thing, so it really sucks that I'm gonna have to pass it up to grab Saint's Orison. Hopefully it comes back later, because this is like, if you get this is like playing on easy mode almost, right? Which almost makes me feel like I should get it instead of this. But after the first few floors, you actually can't get the special single target AoE or normal damage skills, really. So I am going to grab this. It says your AoE is not affected by a number of targets, and your single target skills now affected to up to 2 targets in an arc. Your normal attacks deal 10% less damage. So to me, this is definitely worth it. Absolutely no question, we're grabbing that, and hopefully Fervent Tactics comes back later, because that is a really powerful blessing to get. Now again, every troop here is still on white, and so what I'm going to do is just grab another blessing. Why not? Reduces health of enemies by 3%. That's pretty good. Enemies, if there's 5 enemies on the board, they all have 3% less health. That's basically a 15% health reduction on the board, which is pretty good. And then we grab our first chest here. We get 5 epic, actually these aren't epic, this is blue, so that's elite material chests, which is pretty good. A golden kingdom chest, and then we take a look here at the market, the secret market. Okay, and what are we gonna get here? Well, we should grab junior medicine because I don't have any healing in my relics, and deadly bolt is definitely something that you want at the end of this event. The question is, do I get it early? The answer is yes, because it is kind of rare. Then from here, binding shackles is actually really good. I usually view this as health. Actually, it's kind of like a heal, the reason being that there's going to be at some point an elite that you probably don't want to fight, and this will save you all the troops that you would have lost from fighting that elite. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't think I really need the catapult yet, which will come in handy at some point, but not at this point in time. So with that being said, let's clear what we can. We can't clear much, and let's grab the Disc of Destiny. And if you press the escape key on your keyboard, if you're playing on PC, you could just skip that roulette wheel and we get infantry attack. So yeah, with that being said, I guess we'll attack this guy. He's the weakest, and he does free up a lot of fog tiles, so we're gonna go ahead and take advantage of that. We found the chief already, and let's go ahead and clear all this stuff as well. Let's grab this blessing. Extra rage gain, 10% on its own doesn't really move the needle that much, but it is what it is. Let's get the reinforcement camp, and you will see that we can grab Sun Tzu Prime again. Okay, now Sun Tzu Prime is an AoE commander for us because we have the Saint's Orison here, so it converts his active skill into an AoE, and then he also deals AoE true damage, so he is basically an AoE commander for us, which is nice. Now we're going to actually pull that new Sun Tzu into the battlefield here, and what I'm going to do is bench my Trajan, because Trajan is not really doing much right now. We don't really need him at this point. He's really just a tank, and so now we've got 3 Sun Tzu Primes, and we are cooking with gas, folks. And let's go ahead and clear these off. We'll grab the gold, gold. And let's see, I think we'll go ahead and defeat this guardian minion, see if there's anything cool here. There's not, and I'll defeat him. Like I said, I like to defeat all of the minions at this point, and at that point we're gonna go ahead and fight the chief. So let's see what we can do here without using any relics. We are pretty much all set. We're gonna leave that and we're good to go. There's fervent tactics, baby. Whoo, I got so lucky. Getting this early on is actually game changing. This keeps you in the fight for a very long time. Like, you just constantly are healing, and I already stack all my troops in my front row, so this helps out a ton. Lightborn dagger is not bad, but it's back row, and I don't like to stack my back row. I like to have the front row stacked. So that's how we're going to do that. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to beat this minion just as you see what we get underneath. It says Pendant of Light. Wow, really got lucky there. And no elites on this floor, but we can use the altar to heal up our Sun Tzu Prime. And when we look here, everything's pretty healthy. So what we're going to do is grab the blessing and cav attack. Not that important, but it is what it is. Let's go up to floor level 6 and see what we got. So let's go ahead and clear this off here. Boom, boom, boom. Making good progress. And that's pretty much that. Let's grab these chests and gold before we forget. Disc of Destiny, let's spin it, and we get Warrior's Flame. Wow, really lucky this run, to be honest with you guys. So that being said, let's fight this guy. He's the weakest, and he unlocks a lot of fog tiles for us, and actually not really. Let's see what the reinforcement camp has to give us. And we have, let's take a look here. I'm gonna go with, really, I like the healing on Hua, but he's single target. So I think honestly, I'm just gonna do Bai Chi Liu Che. We are already optimizing for AoE, so why wouldn't I do that, honestly? So let's go ahead and see where we can put him in the lineup here. I think we're gonna have to bench the man, we're actually like super stacked. I'm gonna bench the King Arthur just to save his health, really. Not that he's bad or anything, but like, might as well save his health. So let's go ahead and do something like this, I guess. And yeah, I think that's actually let's do this. Pretty good. Boom, there we go. And let's clear these out here and see what we get. We get a chest, and this is the one we're going to kill because we unlock 2 fog tiles. So let's grab those. We get a binding shackle, and I'm going to kill this guy now and see what we get. Oh, we can't clear those, but I can use the binding shackle and we can clear boom, 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 boom. And now we don't have to fight that guy because we know that there's nothing there, right? And I apologize if my camera's a little bit big. It's a little in the way. Maybe I'll shrink this down. I know we're kind of far into the video at this point, but I'll shrink it a little bit. And we still didn't find the chief on this floor yet, which means he is over here. So now I've got a couple options. I am going to go ahead and just use the primitive bolt, and I will fight this guy because I've got some health to spare, and I also have a healer's hut right here. So we're pretty good. We're doing fine. I don't think I have to stress too much about this. And we'll do this. We will protect our actual Sun Tzu. That's always going to be the strongest one. Even though they lend you troops, your troops will always be stronger. Reduced damage taken by front row is really good. Health of front row is good, but we're just going to reduce all damage. And literally the last tile is the chief. So we will actually just, we'll use primitive bolt on him too. I'm kind of wasting these, honestly, but it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and do that. And let's go ahead and move our troops like this, and that should be good. Boom. And we will see base attacks have a 15% chance for more damage. I like this a lot. Molten gold is actually pretty good because I will be spending a lot of gold. Like, I'm pretty early in the levels here, but I have 2 more shops left, so yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Warrior's Fury just because I can. And then let's take a look here. I think we will we're gonna fight this guy and we're gonna heal at the hut afterwards. So we'll be fine. I think we'll be okay. Let's do this, and see what happens. Only 1 is on yellow, which is pretty good. Whenever you have a skill, 25% chance to recover 1,000 rage is really good. So I think I'm gonna grab that. And normal attacks have an 8% chance. Yeah, we're gonna grab that, and then we're gonna heal up. Probably didn't even need that heal, honestly, but I'm just playing it safe here because I don't have a lot of heals here. And then we're gonna go ahead to floor 7, folks. Floor numero 7, and let's see what we got here. So this is the way oh wow, okay, immediately getting stopped out here. So let's go ahead and do that and see what we get. on the tiles beyond it, we've got a lot of fog tiles we can clear off of that, which was really good. We have basic armor, which is nice. A gold, a little bit of gold. Disc of Destiny. Do we get lucky? We don't. We just get gold, which is kind of lame. And then from here, this guy is definitely stronger, but again, there's a lot of tiles that I can clear off of him, so we're gonna do that, and boom, we just cleared a ton of fog tiles, which is nice. I think that makes I think I did the right play there, which was good. We'll fight this guy, clear 2 tiles, see if we get anything before the chief. We don't, and then we will go ahead and honestly, we've got the health to spare. I'm just gonna fight him without any debuffs, and we'll save those debuffs for later because we will fight something stronger, surely, right? Absolutely, surely. So let's go ahead and we will move this guy here and this guy here and actually this guy here. Boom, that's how we're gonna do that, and that's how we're gonna fight him. And there we go. Like I said earlier, warrior sphere is good, but solar shield for every troop in your front row troops deal 5% more damage. That is busted good. Okay, very good stuff. Like I said, I'm already stacking my front row, so this is just really good synergy. So we're gonna do that with 4 troops in the front row. That's 20% more damage just across the board at all times. Really hard to compete with that. And I don't think I got the healer's hut on this floor, but I don't really need it. I guess I can try to let's use the no, you know what, I'm gonna save it. We don't really need the healer's hut for floor 7. Let's just grab our rewards here and see what we get. So we've got another deadly bolt, major healing. Wow, that's a good one. So let's see. What do we have? Do we have another? We have force movement, we have a binding shock. We don't really need these 2. Elite armor is going to come in clutch, I think, for the end of this fight. So I will be picking that up, and we still have the earlier deadly bolt, but having extras of those for the end is really good. You want to save some of the best stuff for the last fight because you can stack it all the way up. So what we're going to do is we are going to we're going to use this just because we can. I mean, there's really no downside, and that frees up some slots in the bag here. And we're going to grab the we're going to get the elite armor, and we have 1,300 left. We will grab we definitely don't need anything on the right side here. So the question is, I guess we'll grab the major healing, even though we've got some pretty good healing here. Honestly, I think yeah, I mean, we have fervent tactics. I'm gonna grab the deadly bolt. I think that's gonna age a little bit better for us. That's gonna be my famous last words now, honestly. But yeah, I think with fervent tactics, we're already doing pretty good in the health department, so I think I should be okay. So let's grab that. Attack of infantry, pretty good. Basically our whole board is infantry, so we really like infantry stats right now. I mean, look at this, like we have 1 archer, the rest are infantry, so really like that. Let's fight this guy because we could potentially clear a lot of the board with this. Defensive front row, attack of front row, health of calves. Defensive front row is going to be good, keeps them tanky. We like that a lot. I know it's infantry already have a lot of defense, but it is what it is. Let's grab this stuff here, and then we've got a couple of options. Let's fight this guy, see if we get lucky with the chief being under here, and we don't, but we get some gold, so cool. Let's fight this guy and see what we get under there. We find the chief. Okay, really good stuff. So let's see, do we want to heal anything before we fight him? I think we will use one of these because there's no downside to that, and then we will do nothing. We'll just fight him. Actually, that's really it. We just need that, and we should be able to we'll be fine here. We'll be totally fine. So we'll do this, and that should be it. And yeah, we're good. We're Gucci. So Saint's Scorch is also quite good. We already have one of these, I think, but yeah, it's just like you might as well grab another one. Right now, this is good for all smite damage, so honestly that's definitely an option. But I mean, why not? Why would I not grab Saint's Scorch, right? Like it's kind of really good. So let's see here. I don't think I need to move these guys around or do anything crazy. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and yeah, I'll fight him. I'll definitely fight him because I can heal up after, and I don't think he's gonna kill anybody. That would be kind of crazy if he actually did. So let's do this, boom, and I guess we'll do that, right? And yeah, I think that's the play. And we almost did lose a troop there. So 10% chance to take more skill damage. Troops with more than 500 rage take 10% less damage. That's pretty good. So let's grab that. And we actually don't get really much of anything besides that from that fight, but we healed up pretty nicely there. And honestly, I could even go ahead and use junior medicine, but I'm going to hold off just to see what's on the next floor, and we'll see how we do after that. So let's go ahead and start clearing here. Increased chance of a blessing. Okay, that's pretty cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and use one of these. We'll heal this guy up. and then we're pretty much really good on health. So yeah, let's do that. Fight him, keep on moving here. We did already find some blessings, which is really nice, and we'll clear a lot of the fog here, which is good. So cav defense, and we have attack of front row, which is great. Everything's in our front row, so we really like that. And here we get 100 gold, not really that much. We don't have anything past at this point, so we will actually fight the 2 minions over here, and we don't get lucky. Actually, we do get a little bit lucky, so that's pretty cool. Fight this guy, and we will increase our damage by 3%. That is definitely what we want. And we found the chief. Wow. Okay, we got pretty lucky there, to be honest. So let's see, what do we want to do? I guess we will just do we have, yeah, I think we'll use the basic armor here, and that should be fine. And then we'll also yeah, we'll restore all by 10, just because, I mean, I don't really need to, but I think it makes sense just in case. I don't want to actually lose a troop here because I do want to heal up. So we'll do that. We'll do that, and that should be good. Let's fight him. Yeah, if we didn't heal, we would have lost him probably. Ooh, anchor's really good. Okay, so anchor is definitely what we want. All enemy troops lose 10% of their strength, so really nice stuff there. They literally just start with less health, which is great. So that being said, let's go ahead and use the altar of Karak now. So we fully heal that guy, which is nice, and I do think that we should try to get the healer's hut on this floor if we can. So let's force teleport this guy, and we clear up a bunch of the fog. We did find the healer's hut and a blessing, so definitely worth grabbing that. And honestly, only these two really need to heal, but some of the blessings that you get from the huts aren't that great, so I'm just going to heal. Honestly, we're just going to do it. It's a nice chunk of health there, which is nice. So let's go ahead and move on here. We don't need to fight those elites. It's going to take a lot of damage, or it's going to deal a lot of damage to us, even though we will win. So now with these, when you find these arrow towers, you want to take them out as fast as possible. So you don't want to make any detours. You kind of just want to beeline it to them. And we are going to use the binding shackles here because I just don't want to fight an elite right now. So that's that. We're going to kill the arrow tower, which is good. Now you want to be careful. I still have 3 more turns left on my binding shackles, so we are going to clear away some of these tiles here, and we're going to clear this one, and that should be it. So now let's go ahead and clear around this. We'll see if we find anything cool. Nope, we got another elite. Kind of unfortunate. Let's go ahead and spin this, and we got hiring freeze. Okay, interesting name. I didn't read a lot of these blessing names before, so let's recruit something, and we have ourselves another Sun Tzu Prime with Bai Chi, which is kind of wild. So we're definitely going to make use of that, and we can basically just retire our own Sun Tzu Prime Bai Chi now, and we're just rocking all Sun Tzus all the time. That's how you want to do this. You just want to stock all of the rental troops basically, and just fly through it with that. So yeah, we're just gonna pop off now, and pretty much all the damage we're taking here is free. Like we don't even need to worry about it. There we just healed up our Bai Chi march all the way up. So yeah, we're doing really good right now. I'm not even gonna debuff this guy because really, like, what am I gonna lose? I'm gonna lose a borrowed like troop. It doesn't even matter, right? Like if something here dies, I'd rather it not die, but if it did, it's not a huge loss because it's, like I said, these are not even my armies, right? So let's just go ahead and fight them. Yeah, we didn't even lose anything. Oh, Conqueror's really good. This is another one that is like kind of on easy mode, right? Like now you just get an extra army, like that increases your damage through the roof. Okay, so yeah, I mean, we don't really have many relics here, but we don't really need to do much else here. So let's just move on to floor 12, access our final shop of the run here, and we'll see what we get. So we probably want to get one of the blue elite armor. One of the blue armors would have been nice, so I'm not gonna grab that. I will get the senior. I don't even think I need the senior medicine because really I'm using borrowed troops, right? So yeah, I will actually grab the forced movement though. I'll grab the elite detector, I'll grab the binding shackles, and then really I guess I will grab the senior medicine. I really, there's no downside to grabbing it. Like what else am I gonna get, right? So that's pretty good. I think I did the right thing there, and hopefully I find one of those blue armors along the way before the final boss, because that would be really good. So again, always take out the arrow towers ASAP. There's no question that's what you want to do. They just chip away your health if you don't, so it's a huge detriment to leaving them there. and we're just going to try to clear as much of this fog as we can but without fighting anything. And we'll grab the disc of destiny, see if we get anything good. We grab war god's protection. Wow, I'm getting really lucky with these with the spins here. I feel like I'm never this lucky, so I don't know if this is like a video that is perfectly representative of my normal experience, but I do feel like I'm getting pretty lucky here. So with that being said, we definitely want to bring back our actual Sun Tzu Prime. And what do we want to do here? We'll put you there. I will actually put this dude on the bench. We'll bring back my actual Trajan, and we'll do something like this, and that's going to be the play. Yeah, that's how we're going to do that, and we're good to go. So yeah, I mean, my actual Trajan is so tanky that at this point, with all the blessings and stuff, I'm not that worried about losing some health on him, and I'd rather not have one of the other borrowed armies die, because when you get a healer hut, you can actually heal them and bring them back into the fight, right? So that's pretty good. So actually, I can use this on you, and we will let's fight this guy. He's 1 power point lower, and we can do attack of front row, but actually we'll grab the rage gain because I already have 10% rage gain and it doesn't move the needle that much, but now that I have 20% it might. So that's kind of how I'm looking at that. Let's fight this minion, see what we get here. We actually didn't lose in a troop. That's kind of crazy. That was a little bit risky. Let's heal up at the healer hut. We'll probably still lose a troop here, but I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can not lose an army. That would be nice if we could not lose one. So is it possible that, yeah, he did actually heal up a little bit. So let's do that. Move Trajan down, move this Sun Tzu down. You always want Emperor Qin in the center, by the way. That's just the way you want to do that. And if you don't have Emperor Qin, you want like YSG or Ethelfled or something in the middle there, and that's how you want that. Let's move that, and we should be good to go. And now we get Golden Shield. Reduce all damage taken by back row, which is nice. That's actually the best one we can get. And man, I do feel pretty bad leaving this many tiles on the board, but at the end of the day, I did already get the healer's hut, so I'm just gonna move on, really. I mean, maybe I could have fought him, but just not worth it to me. It's really not. So let's clear this tile, and we get a free arrow clear pretty much, and there's that. Let's fight the minion, and we got the second arrow tower. So that was a pretty good arrow tower placement for us, honestly. A lot of times they're like on the complete opposite side. There is the basic armor that we wanted, so I'm happy to grab that, and that gets us basically to max enemy reduction, right? You can stack up to 80%. So this is 45, 55, 65, 75. Okay, so that's almost maximum damage reduction there, which is pretty good. So okay, we immediately got kind of stopped out with progress on floor 14 here, and let's see what we can do. So this is going to be the most beneficial one. Let's fight him. We definitely need to see, ooh, we got a healer's hut, which is pretty good. Let's see what we can do here. Maybe just maybe we don't need the healer hut yet, although again, I definitely don't want to lose an army here. That would be nice if we could not. It's looking pretty unlikely, unfortunately. It's looking like we're gonna have to I'm not really sure. I think we're gonna possibly lose an army here. Let's see. Nope. Okay, cool, nice. Front row health is probably something we should grab. I know the counterattack damage is kind of good there because you are often swarmed here, but honestly, that's not that big of a deal. Let's grab the healer hut just to not lose anything, and let's see if we can replace one of our armies with something a little bit healthier. So he's got 90k. What's the healthiest? Is that? Oh, that is the healthier. Okay, that's kind of unfortunate. So let's do this, and we'll put that there, and we'll do that, and then we're gonna go ahead and do just fine right like that. Fight this guy. We'll just basically skip the fight. We don't need to. Ooh, okay, back row health, defense for infantry. I think we're gonna do defense for infantry because they are mostly our front row, and they seem to be getting they're starting to take a beating here, folks, and I don't like it. So we did get a healer's hut this level. Okay, so at this point, I think what we'll do is we are definitely going to lose an army here. So I think we should actually use the senior medicine on our boy. Yeah, we'll use him here because he's going to probably die no matter what. So let's do that. We'll bring him up to yellow. It is what it is. He's probably going to die. So I'm almost certain he's going to die, actually. and let's see what we can do. So let's bench this Sun Tzu, and we'll grab this one. The Bai Chi Liu Che is on yellow at least, so it is what it is. And let's do that. Let's do this, and let's see what happens. And we don't lose anything. Nice. Okay, we have Warrior's Fury, which I feel like we already get that, or did we have something else? Glorious Hammer is really good, and Spear of Flame is even better, honestly. But yeah, I think we're gonna grab Warrior's Fury. Starting with 1,000 rage is really good, honestly. You basically just cast your active skills immediately, and that starts your rage engine like right off the rip, because of a lot of the talent trees start their engines at that point. So yeah, we only have one Warrior's Fury. Wow, that's kind of nuts. I could have sworn we had, well, there's multiple Warrior's Furies here. That's actually so funny. The names are the same. I didn't even realize that. But yeah, so okay, well, it is what it is. We start with 1,000 rage now, and man, these arrow tower placements are really quite good. Now we are on floor 15, which is the last floor before the boss, so I am going to use my elite detector, and there are none in the way here, which is really nice. I was not expecting that. I was expecting to get screwed over here. And we'll do this. No enemies at all. That's crazy. That is actually super lucky. I got so lucky this run, I can't believe it. So let's go ahead and clear these. We know we're not going to hit any elites, which is really nice. The worst we'll get is a minion, so let's just clear these. Boom, boom. And what we'll do is first grab the chests and see what we get inside here, and that's that. We will then go ahead and we'll use the healers. No, we'll fight first. And then we'll see what happens after that. Do we have something we can replace this Sun Tzu with that's a little healthier? The answer is we do not. So he's probably gonna die, which is kind of unfortunate. Is there anything we can do about that? Really, I don't know if there is. Frankly, I think he's just gonna have to die, and that's just how it's gonna be. And he doesn't even die. That's actually insane. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab the healer's hut now, because otherwise stuff will start dying. So let's go ahead and heal, and we will fight this minion, see what happens. And defense for front row, health of front row is really what we need, honestly. So let's spin the disc of destiny. If I get the legendary here, this is the luckiest run. Okay, I was gonna say there's no way, right? Surely not. Okay, so now we just fight the chieftain, and honestly, it's the last floor. I'm gonna move him and see if I get any advantages here, and I don't, so that's too bad. So let's do it again. Let's see if there's anything in this tile. There is. That's kind of nuts. Let's see if we get anything. We don't. That was a waste. Okay, let's fight the chief, and then we'll save everything for the last level. That's pretty much how we're doing this. So let's see if we can let's do that. Honestly, it's kind of a bummer that we're probably gonna let's put him here, and we'll do this. I think that's the way to go. And we didn't lose anything. Wow. Okay, so Festival of the Sun. Let's do Influential Leader. Although, do I even have any healing? I don't even think I have any healing, so I don't even think this matters. So we're gonna do, yeah, I mean, none of these options are good, honestly. I don't think this does anything, because I don't think I deal any single target damage anymore because of my other blessings. But well, I'll do this for does Fervent Tactics affect this? I'm trying to think. I don't think it does. I think all my armies are so low that it doesn't matter. So I'll just grab it, whatever. I don't think any of them really do anything at this point anyway, and I don't have any healing, so yeah, it is what it is. Maybe I should have grabbed the single target damage one just in case it did do something, but yeah, it's fine. Okay, so with that being said, now we are on the final level here, and what we're gonna do is, first of all, can we move him? No, we can't. That would have been funny. I never thought about that. Okay, let's use the elite armor, let's use the basic armor, and then we're gonna go ahead and use the deadly bolt, which takes out a big chunk. We'll use another deadly bolt. Boom, there we go. And now we will enter the battle. Okay, so I really wish I had some healing here, because I do feel like it is unfortunate that we are so low with some of these armies. But yeah, either way, let's go ahead and pull in our actual troops, right? We've kind of kept them on the bench throughout this entire fight because we could. That was kind of our luxury that we had, which was cool. So what we're going to do is put Emperor Chin right in the middle, and then we want to counter the Nevsky with our honestly, I could probably put that there. And we will do something like we'll do this because he's a circular AoE. Remember, we've got our Achilles there, so that's going to be that. and I think that's the way we're gonna do this, honestly. Actually, I should probably use him as just bonus damage because he's probably gonna die. So we will do probably this and this. The Gorgo though. What do we want to do here? I think the play is actually this. Either way, the Sun Tzu's gonna die. Might as well put him up against something he counters. So that's that. I think we're gonna do it. I think that's how it's gonna go. I'm not gonna play the battle because it's gonna take forever, but let's see what happens. Ooh, 93%. So this is a really good example of a time where I actually didn't get 100, which is kind of embarrassing because I did just record this whole thing for an hour. But what we're gonna do here is I am going to collect the chest, but I will tell you that the way this event works is you definitely, if you want the 100%, which does give you better rewards, do not collect this chest. If you do want to try again, you have to basically reset the whole thing, or you have to reset back to a certain level. And if I go back to floor 12, is there really anything more I could have done to do better? I don't think so. For the purposes of the video, I will try it, but I'm not really convinced. So let's see what happens. So going back to floor 12, I do get back my 2 deadly bolts, and I keep everything that I had here, and I get back the gold that I had, or maybe that's how much gold I had at the end there. I don't really remember, but I'm grabbing everything here. I'm grabbing the arrow of truth. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we can do. Okay, so I was able to get 100% the second time I tried it, but it's kind of crazy because I actually have fewer armies here than I did on the first run. So I don't know how I only got 93% the first time, especially considering how lucky this run was. But either way, I'm glad I was able to get 100 there for you guys in this video, because that does get you 2 extra blueprint chests, which really, it's probably 2 crystal keys. Was it really worth going through all the extra effort? Probably not, right? I mean, once you get this, and really as long as you're like 70%, that's probably good, right? Anything over the 50% mark, I probably wouldn't even redo it. Honestly, the materials are the main thing that you're looking for here. But hey, the crystal keys, they could be lucky. I could get something really good out of them. So let's go ahead and pop this open. Let's see what we get from the 18 blue material chests here. Let's pop that, and we get only 2 bones, and the rest is non-bones, which is really good stuff. And then let's open the 5 purples, and we get 0 bones. Really nice stuff here. Really good. So yeah, that's really one of the reasons why you want to do this, because you get a lot of, look at that, just crystal keys. Oh my god, you get a lot of those materials from this. Okay, even though they're not pick one chests, it's still on average it's good. So we've got 23 crystal keys. I had, I think, 8 of them before, so this might be a little bit better rewards than normal, but even still, we've got 2 leathers and 2 of the green ebony blue leather. So the crystal keys were not very good here, honestly, but hey, if you needed like the Sakura Fubuki, that's pretty good, like as a new player, right? Not bad. But guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Hopefully watching me play through Golden Kingdom and make the choices that I made will help you guys go through Golden Kingdom yourself. I know I didn't really show off the last 3 floors because I had to redo it, but honestly, I played worse on those floors than I did before because I was rushing through it. So again, I don't know how I got 100% the second time around because I had fewer armies. I fumbled that, but either way, the same principles apply every single time. It just does come down to a little bit of RNG. So hopefully you guys have luck doing this yourself. Again, it's kind of funny I got 93% because it's pretty rare that I don't get 100% the first time, but either way, at this point I'm just rambling. I think it's just bad luck because it's a video. But guys, if you made it to the end of the video, please consider dropping a thumbs up on it. It really does help out the channel a ton. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and you might think you're subscribed because you've seen a ton of my videos over the years, but you're actually not. Double check down below, comment down below any extra tips for this game mode that I didn't mention in the video. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Omniarch. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Peace.